Dr. Wood, author of the book Miracles Minutes, How to Deal with Bully, Part 2. So, talked about if you look at the words of bullying yourself, it's usually need, you should, and have to. Okay? So, that's one way of talking to yourself. But what it feels like is obligation. Like you have to, need to, should. Like you're guilting yourself into doing shit. That's not, I mean, how can you feel emotionally happy and joyful about life? But this is the common language used usually between human beings to say, I love you. Well, you need to do your homework. I love you. So I understand, it's hard dealing with the kids, but as you get older, we need to change our language and our tone into, even God himself doesn't, you don't have to go to church. You don't have to love God. You don't have to love your parents. God doesn't need you to love him. You don't need to love me. You don't need to love anybody else. I want to. See, that's coming from my heart. That's coming from a free will choice. That's not coming from guilt or shame or obligation. It's coming from a really wonderful place that, you know what? I have so much love in me that I love you for no reason. I just choose to. I choose versus have to, need to, should, and why aren't you? So we need to think about loving ourselves. So you're going to need some help with this because it's a pattern that you've been running in your head. And so what you want to is find that person who does love you unconditionally. Like, that friend's like, yeah, man, I'm always there for you. Yeah, I'm always looking out for your best. What can I do to help and support you? Not take over. We're not looking for codependency here. We're looking for someone who supports you and holds you accountable to, starting to love yourself. You truly cannot be in a loving relationship with another human being, either your children, your wife, your husband, or anybody else, unless you start learning how to love yourself. And you do that by taking care of yourself, from a loving place. So you start, you can look at, if you're having a bad day, just get a piece of paper out and start writing down what are you saying. Well, I need to do this and I need to do that, and I was supposed to do this and I was supposed to do that. And you can see you're guilting and shaming yourself into doing things versus seeing the value in it. So let's suppose, I can't believe I have to walk so far to get to the gym, or I had to park so far back. I had to. Like, well, if you didn't have any freaking legs and were paralyzed for a year, guess what you want to do?